Headaches are never fun, especially if you're 1,000 miles from home and more specifically 1,000 miles away from your chiropractor. And this happened to a patient of mine just the other day. Last week she came in, she was on her fall break from school, so she's off at school playing basketball and started getting some pretty significant tension headaches, starting at the base of the head and wrapping around to the front of the head. And didn't know what to do about it because she doesn't have a chiropractor where she's at, and so she was happy to come in and get adjusted. So we talked about that, though it is good to get adjusted and such, but what do you do when there isn't a chiropractor around? And wouldn't it be nice to also know some things that you can do so you don't end up with these headaches and having to go into the chiropractor because you have a headache? And so we talked about some things that she could do from self-care, but we also talked about some things that she could do that would help potentially prevent these headaches. Because one of the things that she found is that she felt like she was looking down a lot at her books, and that's what was causing her to get headaches. And so we talked about doing some things that could be different. Would be one, and so we look at some of the things that can cause that. Looking down at our phone, being on, looking at our textbooks, being on a tablet or a laptop. You look at a laptop and you can see that this is really good for where the hands are, but not good for where your head is. You have to be looking down. If you put the laptop where it's supposed to be for your eyes, then it's too high for your arms, and so it's really not a great thing to be working on. But most students are going to be using laptops, and a lot of people in their jobs are using laptops. So we talked about how could she combat that. Some of the things that she could do would be if she could prop up her textbooks actually on her in front of her laptop so that she's looking more straight ahead. Same with if you're on your phone, holding it up. Even lying on your stomach, working for a little bit can be helpful, because now my head's up like this versus my head being down. And so we talked about some behavior things that she could change. Another would be if maybe your pillow is too thick, you sleep on your back and your head's kind of propped up like that. That's not good for your neck. When you're sleeping on your back, really only your neck needs a pillow, not your head. So we talked about those things. Then we also talked about some things that she could be doing on her own. So we talked about a few stretches. It's not uncommon that when someone's dealing with tightness here, they will stretch here, which is a helpful thing to do, and I'll show you a good stretch for that at the end of the video. But another thing you got to think about is if you're looking down a lot, it's these muscles that are getting tight, and so stretching these muscles. So just taking your chin, bringing it up like this, and just getting a little extra stretch by pushing on your chin with your thumbs, and that can be a really helpful way to stretch out those muscles as well. And then we look at other things that we can do where there's a lot of trigger points. We found tons of trigger points in her neck. I see that all the time with people. So one of the things you could do is just take some tennis balls and put them in a sock, just like this. You can actually buy something that's similar to this. It's called a peanut. Spend a lot of money. Most people have a sock and some tennis balls at home. So you take those two tennis balls, put them in the sock, and then what you're going to do is you're going to tie that sock just like so to keep those tennis balls from kind of popping out. And what you'll do then is you'll do some trigger point work on this. And the best way to do that is to just lie really on a floor. This isn't probably the best because it's a little soft, but I'll show you on this. So you just lie on your back, put it right at the base of the skull, and then just tuck the chin just a little bit and push in straight like that. And that can be really helpful for releasing those trigger points. Hold it for about 5 to 7 seconds, relax, and then do it again, 5 to 7 seconds. And really only have to do it a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times. And that can be very helpful with getting rid of those trigger points. Other thing you can do is some exercises that strengthen the neck. We tend to think of we have core muscles in our low back. Well, we have core muscles in our neck as well. And so a good exercise can be doing a neck retraction up against a wall. So I'll just show you what that looks like. You go up against the wall, tuck your chin, and just push your head straight back in. So you can barely tell that I'm even doing anything, but what I'm doing is an isometric contraction, holding it for 10 to 15 seconds, relax, and then I'll do it again. And I would say the first time you do it, maybe do it a couple times, but once your body gets used to it, you could do that on a regular basis. You don't have to do it against the wall. You could do it on the floor, you could do it on the headrest of the car. I always tell people, do it against the headrest of your car, and then every time you come to a red light, just do that exercise. That can be super helpful. And so doing these trigger points can help. Doing an isometric contraction, I almost call it like a plank for your neck. Now there's another exercise, I personally not a fan of it, but I do know a lot of people promote this, a lot of physical therapists, chiropractors. So I'm going to show it to you. If you like it, great, do it. You take your fist, clench your jaw like this, and then you're going to push straight down into your hands. So the key is you don't want to cause jaw problems, that's why you clench your jaw. So just clench your jaw, push down, and again you get an isometric contraction, kind of like, again, like a plank for your neck. And so these things are all things that she can do now, that she can go and use these exercises, these stretches, these behavior changes, and that can be super helpful. There's one thing that I mentioned that I wanted to show you at the end of the video, and that's just a very simple stretch. And I think I personally love this stretch more than anything for these tight muscles in my neck. And what I'll do is I'll just tuck my chin like this, I reach over top, and I push down, or actually pull down, I guess, just like this, and I can really isolate those suboccipital muscles at the base of the skull, and that's a great stretch as well. And if all that's not working, then absolutely a chiropractic adjustment would make all the difference in the world as well. But again, if you're not close to your chiropractor, or you're trying to do some things so that you can see if, hey, maybe I don't need to get in and get adjusted for that headache, or hey, I'm dealing with this headache, I don't have a chiropractic adjustment for a few days, what can I do in the meantime? You can do those things. Finally, you could also put some heat on there, 20 minutes at a time. That can be very helpful as well. Well, hopefully you found this tip to be helpful. Hopefully this can help you to prevent some headaches, or if you're dealing with a headache, that you can do some self-treatment and maybe get rid of that headache yourself. But again, if you need to get into the chiropractor, get adjusted, because that's going to be super helpful as well. And again, hopefully these are helpful for you. Hopefully you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video where I give you some more tips on how to take care of your body and your health. God bless.